we live?
We're live.
Are we live?
We're live.
Hello?
Is anybody there?
It's me, Margaret. Isn't that a book or a movie or?
I feel like I've heard that in the past.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly, but I know we're there. Yeah, we're here. I got it up on my phone.
We're live?
What's up, everybody?
What's up, everyone? Happy Friday. What's going on? This is Daniel. I've got my friend Nick.
Hello again.
And Sam is coming back Monday. Well, technically Tuesday morning because I'm picking up at midnight on Tuesday. But that's what brothers do because we love each other.
You're such a nice brother.
Thank you, man.
I don't know if I would do the same if I had a brother, though.
Yeah?
Yeah. He can walk his happy butt home.
Nice. So, guys, please go ahead and put in your questions for real estate investing. We got a lot of things to talk about today. I've got some stuff with the real estate market. I've got some mortgage rates, which, by the way, we've got some pretty interesting headlines today along with some rent growth. But I've also got a lot of great things that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how to raise capital. We're going to talk about that. That's going to be a main topic. We're also going to talk a little bit about the Great Reset. I don't know how much we can get into it without being shadow banned.
Shadow banned.
But I mean, you know, we released 2 videos this past week and also last week on the Great Reset. So I'll do my best not to repeat ourselves, right? Because but we got raising capital. We got a couple other things, right? And I figured it'd be fun to start this Friday, considering it's no special occasion. Right? Last Friday of Black History Month. Is that a special occasion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, why'd they give him the shortest month?
I wish they had like July.
Yeah. Let's do a long month for that.
A long month where you can
More
have a
time
parade.
For reflection and understanding.
You know, you can't have a parade when it snows.
No.
You know?
No.
All right. So, Brenda, hi there, Brenda. What's going on? So, again, guys, comment down below your real estate investing questions. Any questions you have on the market, different aspects. But I figured it'd be nice, considering today's a Friday. This is when everyone has energy. You know, we're all looking forward to the weekend, to share some of my craziest real estate stories. Some have been, when I first started out, some of them they involve death.
Really?
Yeah. And some involve other things, right? Just like crazy, like it just kind of points to how crazy this market is. So I'll let you guys. So Katie's manning the camera.
She's womaning the camera.
She's womaning the camera. I'm sorry, it's 2021.
Come on, man.
Am I canceled? I got canceled. I'm on TMZ. Uh-oh. Looks like this Asian's not the only person that got fired.
Oh, my gosh.
It was a Godzilla joke. Anyways, so we got Katie womaning the camera. We got Nick here. So what do you guys want to hear first? Do you guys want to hear Brenda here? I have a consult with Joel this evening. Right on. Yeah, Joel's a great guy. We love Joel.
Yeah, he's great. He's great.
We love Joel. So, all right. So what do you guys want to hear? Do you guys want to hear like crazy? Do you guys want to hear something like death oriented?
So let's start out something real easy.
Yeah.
Let's build up to it.
Okay.
Give me your second most interesting.
So I got 3 stories in mind.
Okay.
So I'll give you my third one, which is like the most. It's just like crazy how the market is.
Okay.
Number 2, so 1 and 2 involve death. Sorry. All right, but this is, you know what I mean? It's crazy. But
it's part of life, though.
It's part of life.
Yeah.
Right, but it's just nuts. Like they're the most memorable stories, like the ones that come to mind. Okay, so I'll start with the first one, which is kind of alludes to like how just crazy the market is. So I bought my last apartment building like late 2017. Right, and you and I were pretty close even back then.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, so I walk out of the title company. I bought this 24-unit building. It was $1.5 million, and I walk out of the title company, and like you know me well enough to where like I talk to God a lot.
Oh yeah.
I talk to God every day.
Yep.
And then I walked out of the closing company, like the title, and God literally just told me like stop buying real estate. So I said, okay, that's weird. And so I checked out this 24-unit building, and long story short, it was just a complete crap hole. Like you pull into the parking lot. And I can say this because it's like our live show. I mean, I consider these people like our friends.
Right, for sure.
So I didn't say this in the book, but I can say it now. So there's a bunch of used condoms, like all over the parking lot. Like just picture that it just rained used condoms.
Oh my God.
Like that's how bad it was. So they're just everywhere. I mean, they're not like you. I mean, it's not to the point where they're like stacked on top of each other.
Right, but
where it's like the snow where I have to like shovel. You know what I mean? It's not like that. But there was a lot, right? And
That's
there
crazy.
was with it there was also a lot of needles. Empty needles, and then of course there's trash, right? So just like it's sprinkled, right? And I can still walk. It's not like I have to like trudge through, right?
Yeah, but that's nothing you want to really see when you're trying to buy an apartment.
No. So I pull up next to this car. All the windshields like shattered. All the windows are shattered. Like You know, the tires are taking off, supported by like these little cement blocks and all this stuff.
Wow.
So I walk in. The inside's like no different. So the inside, like there's stains all over the carpet.
Yeah.
You can't even tell what color the walls are. And so I walk in. I meet the seller, who's like an older gentleman. I won't, mention anything else beyond that.
Sure.
Right, just for his protection. So we go there, and the guy's waiting for us, and I'm like, what are we doing here? And so because he's in a unit, right? So I walk in the hallway. He's like, hello, Daniel, is that you? I'm like, yeah. Where are you?
Was he like painting or something, trying to make it look good?
He was just in there. And so I'm like, where are you at? He's like, I'm in one of the empty units. And I'm like, all right.
Weird.
So I walk in, and like the first thing I see is just a giant hole in the living room. So probably the size of this table.
A hole.
Yeah, and it goes 5 feet deep, and you could see like the concrete slab.
Oh,
that the thing was built in, and like
wow.
you could tell like below it's like the crawl space and different things like that. So I walk in, and literally it's just a hole, and it's not even like a nice round hole. It's like the wood's been broken, and like this literally it's just gone.
Was there like drugs down there?
No, so it's just
like
empty.
Big stacks
so
of money.
There's just a bunch of like debris. Right? What did you say?
Yeah, was it like a meth lab?
No, it wasn't like Breaking Bad stuff. You know what I mean? Because the building would have been worth more if there was substances.
Oh, sure.
But like all the cabinets are just torn off. Like everything is just gone. Like it's just picture the worst looking condition you could possibly have. So I'm like, hey, so is this unit like being renovated? Like what's going on? He's like, no, this is rent ready. I'm like, for who?
Kyle?
A bear?
Like a Kyle or something?
Yeah.
Just punch holes in the drywall?
I guess. So he's the landlord, and Edwin, he doesn't live there, right? But yeah, El Chapo's old spot, right?
Pretty sure. Strong connection, I bet.
Strong connection.
Halfway house.
So I walk around, and I just feel so bad because we meet like some of the tenants that live there, and you could tell these tenants they've given up on life. Like and I hate to describe people this way, but there's no other way to use, to verbally describe.
Well, and that's a nice way of saying it. There is people in this world who have given up.
They just given up.
Yeah.
Let's put it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, let's just put it there. And I just felt really sorry for them, like really sorry. So I asked the guys, like, well, how much is rent? And they're like, it's about $580. So I mean, keep in mind, I know this area very well, right? Mm-hmm. Like I know this area. Without giving the name of the city, I owned about 64 units in this market. Mm-hmm. So I know exactly what prices should be going for. So I know for sure that with these units that were in there, if you rehab them, you could rent them out for $950 for a 2-1. Mm. So I'm like, all right, so like maybe there's hope. So this thing's not, it's probably not worth any more than $700,000. There's no way, right? So, and again, I know this area, but I understand like 2017, even then it was a hot market. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, I'll buy it for I offered $750. That was my offer. Mm-hmm. I was like, I literally on the spot, I gave him an offer. I was like, look, I'm not trying to waste your time. I'm not wasting my time. This place is a dump. Like, I don't need to do any more research. Yeah. Like clearly this needs a lot of work. So I offered him $750, and that's a generous offer. I paid him $50,000 more than it was actually worth. Right. So he laughs at me. He's like, I'm not gonna say the F word, but he's like, get the F out of here. It's like,
oh, that's professional.
Started laughing at me, and he's like, ha ha ha, right? And so I saw the Great Reset in the title. That's why I'm here. So Aberrant Art, we're going to talk about the Great Reset literally right after this.
Yep.
Right?
We'll get right to it.
And I'll just use the stories as kind of like fill in between big topics.
Yeah.
So he says, get out of here. So we get laughed out of the building. I'm like, whatever. I move on. And so, 2 weeks later, my then partner, who mm-hmm. I'm not going to mention his name.
Yeah, I know.
I don't want him getting even more attention.
That's okay. We get it.
But he calls me, and he's a managing broker in the area. He calls me. He's like, Daniel, they just sold that building. I'm like, what? Like, who bought it? And I'm expecting like $800, $950, because he's like, I'm not taking anything less than $850 for this thing, for this dump. So I'm like, all right, whatever. And I was like, how much did they sell it for? He's like, they sold it for $1.4 million.
Boy.
So they sold it for double what it was worth. And then so that's a mild crazy story in terms of how I began to realize that the market is extremely overpriced. That these apartments, man, that I'm seeing right now all throughout the country, these are 200-300 unit buildings. But think about the amount of real estate syndication funds that have propped up in the last 4 years is insane.
Yeah.
Like so many, everyone's doing real estate syndication. Everybody. And everyone's going after these 180 to 300 unit apartment buildings. Like, the competition is so crazy, and people don't realize it. Like, it's nuts. It's nuts. We should not be paying this much for distressed assets. All right, so let's go to Great Reset.
Yes.
So first and foremost, what is the Great Reset?
Man,
you want to start on it? You want to start?
I'll get into it.
All right.
I get into it because I'll take responsibility for introducing this topic to you. But sometimes,
I didn't know anything about this until you brought it up.
Yeah, and it was it wasn't actually a conspiracy guy. It was I don't know if Kiyosaki would be considered. Yeah, he's kind of getting a little off his
So here's
so
if Great Reset. I'm gonna trust that the 30-something people watching this right now, which, by the way, if you guys haven't, please like this video, and we try to do our best to help people. You know, so there's no agenda here or anything like that.
No,
we're not
at all.
I'm not an Amway or anything.
No,
yeah. I left that world many years ago. So, what is the Great Reset? So first and foremost, it's not a conspiracy theory. It's not.
It's a conspiracy, but it's not a theory anymore.
It's not a theory.
It's literally like plain sight.
Yeah.
Man wrote a book about it.
Exactly.
And
so to give you an idea, sorry to interrupt.
No,
but to give you an idea, the World Economic Forum, which is the driving entity,
yes,
the entity that is driving this,
yep.
They did a meeting last month in January.
Yep.
I believe it was the 29th or the 28th, and the main topic, the name of the meeting was called the Davos Agenda.
Yes.
If you guys, you guys are all on electronic devices right now, look it up. It's the Davos Agenda. It's another word. It's another name for the Great Reset.
Yep.
And what is the Great? So if you guys don't know what the Great Reset is, and you're just like, I don't even know what you're talking about, bro, right? The Great Reset is a giant agenda in which all world leaders will come together and pretty much reset the economy and institute globalized form of socialism and communism.
Right.
If that's the best way that I can put it.
Yep.
It's pretty much saying that capitalism sucks. Let's go ahead and institute globalized control.
Equal outcomes instead of equal opportunity.
Exactly.
That's the big.
Which is exactly what communism is.
Right.
In a nutshell.
Yeah.
So it's globalized push for communism, so that the globalist, I don't even want to use the word globalist elites, but
pretty much everybody. But a lot of the times with the stuff that's being talked about during like these big, when the World Economic Forum gets together, a lot of the talk is, global warming, stuff like that, which, there's a constant debate about if that is something or not, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is that they'll have this stuff kind of wrapped up in these topics to get to their, end goal, their end game, right? But financially, how can we protect ourselves? I know we just made a video.
Well, here's the statement. The main statement for the Great Reset is that you will own nothing and you will be happy. That's the statement, right? So to everyone watching at home, like, if you don't know what the Great Reset is, like, that is the agenda, that we, the people, will own nothing.
Literally on their Twitter account, they have
100%
a picture saying
right.
that. Yeah.
You will own nothing and you will be happy, right? So it's pretty much us relying on the government for everything, from food, water, shelter. We don't own anything.
Nope.
So no real estate, no whatever,
Yeah.
right? So no assets of any kind. And it is what it is. It's control.
Yeah.
Because, it's pretty much turning a free market, the person's ability to start a business, and turning it, they want to be the mommy and daddy that puts food on the table for us, the children. That's what they want to do.
And they're trying to get rid of meat too.
They're trying to get rid of meat.
They're trying to they're doing that synthetic meat, like Bill Gates meat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
What? How is that any better?
I don't think so. So here's the thing. So for a lot of you guys that know about the Great Reset, but maybe you're not on a day-to-day following it.
Yeah.
So the latest news, I believe, is that Bill Gates, who obviously is one of the biggest advocates for the Great Reset, and I don't even know if I should even be saying his name right now, but
BG.
Right. I need to be careful.
Yeah.
Walking home this morning, right? So we'll call him BG, right? Big guy.
The big guy.
So BG, right? So Mr. BG is buying up a lot of farmland. He's buying up a lot of. He's the largest right now.
Yep.
He's the largest source of capital pursuing farmland.
Holy cow.
Right now in the world. So it gets you thinking, man. It's like, so I know they want to get rid of meat, which why? Why meat?
That's what I'm saying about this whole global warming thing.
Yeah.
They're trying to tie in the whole argument that these animals are producing these gases or whatever. I'm not an expert at any of this stuff, but I've read stuff about that where they're claiming these animals to be more sustainable. Let's move to plant-based proteins. Okay, there's some argument within that, but the thing I don't like is that I don't want to be force-fed anything.
Sure.
No one should be forced to do anything.
Yeah.
You know, this is why we have the country that we live in, because freedom. Right?
Yeah. So my theory is that the Great Reset actually happened in 1912. 1912, 1913.
I know where you're going with this.
Right? Because not only did the Federal Reserve get involved, but that's when if you look at the creation of the Federal Reserve and these different families, whatnot, and again, this is like conspiracy and that I get it.
Yeah.
But you look at the education model of what's happened the last 100 years and what they stopped teaching us in, right? Like, you know, even the most basic forms of people who say this is BS. Well, let me ask you a question. Do you believe that taxes should be taught in school? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, right? You guys watching at home, you guys will say, yeah. You believe that, should personal investment and fiduciary responsibility be taught in school, yes or no?
Yes.
100%. Okay. Do we believe that networking and starting a business should at least be introduced in school, yes or no? Over how to figure out the angle degree on a rhombus.
I can't even spell rhombus.
It's RH, so it's RHOMBUS.
Yeah.
And it's like it's imagine if like a rectangle took some wild acid. It just tilts. Right? It just tilts. So that's a rhombus, right?
Okay, cool.
So here's the point that I'm making is that the education model has drafted extremely and shifted extremely the last 50 years to the point where a lot of this information to some degree is not practical anymore.
No.
Which is why I believe this. By the way, the student debt crisis, it's not because it's the government's fault, whatever. Like, this is what drives me nuts about student loans. Because I know recently Biden chose not to forgive $50,000 worth of student loans.
Yeah, he chose not to.
Here's what drives me nuts. First and foremost, right? A lot of people are saying, well, we could stimulate the economy by, whatever. Let's talk about the bigger problem. Is the fact that these people, myself included, we signed on these documents.
Yes, but why did we sign it?
You know what I mean? Because there's this is what I'm getting at.
Yes, please.
Because there was a huge push for everyone to go to college.
Yep.
The investment is clearly not working out.
ROI sucks.
Right? I mean, I don't care what people. I had a discussion with my friend who loves debates as much as I do, saying that he pretty much blamed it on the job market. He's like, well, capitalism is not producing enough jobs. Yeah, it is.
How else do you figure
you know what I mean?
jobs are created?
Capitalism is absolutely creating jobs. The argument that I was making is that college is not a good investment anymore, to where he disagreed with me. He's like, yeah, absolutely, college is the best degree. It's like, oh, not the best degree. It's the best investment somebody can make. I'm like, no, it's not. Why? How is college a good investment, considered a good investment nowadays? Right. I just don't get it. So, again,
it depends, man. I think a lot of, I scroll our comment section all the time, and yeah, we have the rhetoric here that, college is not always the best thing.
Yeah.
It's good if you want to be a doctor.
For sure.
Lawyer.
Yeah, they're absolutely.
There is a place for it, but don't go to school for something you can learn on the job.
And here's another thing,
you can apprentice.
Hold on. So let's talk about doctors.
Yeah.
Right? I know a lot of doctors.
Yes, you do.
Right? Because we do an investment firm. It's real estate. Doctors love real estate because, the tax benefits and all this stuff, right? So let me tell you about doctors, right? Ask any doctor you want. Any doctor will tell you that the first year of them actually being a doctor on the job, they learn more in that first year than 8 years in medical school.
Yep.
I guarantee it.
Makes a lot of sense.
Ask an engineer. Same thing. So you have all these jobs that are like, oh yeah, these people, they need degrees. And we'll go back to the Great Reset, by the way. So those guys,
folks, we'll
right? We're just kind of going off on a tangent because it's valuable to talk about, right? Because it's recent news, right? Joe Biden, right? The $50,000 of student debt. So ask any engineer, ask any doctor, CPA, like what are more jobs that people are like, oh, you definitely need a degree in that one, right? Like ask any job where anybody walking down the street, including myself, will say, you need a degree for sure. Right, whether it's a nurse, I don't care, right? Ask any job. They will tell you that they learn more in the first year of them doing the action than all the years of schooling. All the years, right? College, medical school, master's degree, you name it. Same thing with psychology. I'll even say for my own world of business and real estate, I learned more the first month after I dropped out of college. I learned more in that month than 2 years in business school.
Man,
2 years.
So we should be advocating for more vocational style training.
Sure, but here's the thing: now people are moving out of the system, if that's the case.
Yep.
So this is what I'm saying. The point that I'm making is I think the Great Reset really happened 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? Once there started being centralized control amongst like literally 3 people in the world's entire monetary policy system.
Yep.
Right? And then that incorporated into the education, then incorporated into food, then incorporated into healthcare, right? And you know, my wife watched this documentary, but now they're starting to do it with life itself. Right? So not just banking, not just, you know, ancillary things around life, right? But now the Great Reset, apparently, it's to go after life itself, to centralize and control life.
Holy cow.
You know? Which is why, again, like, I'm not surprised that there are certain people, I won't name names, who are the biggest donors of Planned Parenthood. Like, there's a lot of things that could be said, right? We can go off on a lot of different tangents here.
There's some donors up in Planned Parenthood. Yeah.
But going back to the Great Reset, you know, it's under what's known as the Davos agenda, right? That is what's happening. It's a giant push to pretty much control and centralize power within a certain elite group of class individuals. And what freaks me out, so when I was reading the Davos agenda, the whole thing, they said in their minutes, right, in their agenda notes, and these are things that are actually being taught about, they made it very clear that there are protocols that they will take to then go ahead and move companies like Amazon or whatever from private to public control.
Oh.
So
man.
I know what people are thinking. Well, Daniel, companies like Amazon, Facebook, Apple are already public because they're IPO.
Yeah, they got IPOs. We got investors.
We've got stocks, share. Well, guess what? If you buy shares and stocks, you're a private retail investor, right? When I say, I'm not talking about owner, I'm talking about sectors. I'm talking about private versus public sectors is what I'm talking about here.
Yep. So
imagine that it's clear as day.
Yeah. I mean, it's transparent.
It's so transparent.
Right
so they're trying to number first and foremost. This is what they're going to try to do. Here's my prediction on what they're going to. The way they're slowly going to move their way into the Great Reset. Because obviously, the key goes like you don't boil a frog in a minute.
No.
You take your time. You know, slowly increase. Right. You kind of go from a jacuzzi and now you realize you're soup. You know, and all this stuff. Right. So here's what I think they're going to do this year in 2021. I think they're going to try really, really hard to get the economy back on track.
Sure.
And in doing so, they're going to encourage the consumers to get into debt as much as possible. I think they're going to make I think we're going to see topics like student loans, you know, all that stuff. They're going to start rising higher and higher and higher. They're going to start regulating a lot more things, you know, when it comes to private investment. And I think slowly but surely, they're going to start weighing down on the people. And I think the first step is going to be universal basic income. That is going to be the first step towards moving towards the Great Reset, is instituting universal basic income.
Do you think that's going to create complacency?
Yeah, of course.
Will people keep their jobs?
I don't know. So I think if they do universal basic income, like I hope it's not something like $2,000 or $3,000, $4,000.
What I heard proposed by what's his name, Andrew Yang.
Yeah,
he's $2,000 a month for everybody.
Is it 2,000?
Yeah, I think he proposed $2,000 a month. I mean, I could live off that.
Sure,
that's easy.
Absolutely, I think anybody could.
Yeah,
you know, but I think that's what I mean. So I think that's why part of the Great Reset is to take public control over these private companies, because the biggest worry with universal basic income is like, well, what if my rent goes up?
Yep.
Or what if this goes up? And at the same time, we're seeing the Federal Reserve start buying private securities. So I think by them starting to control more of the private sector and turning it into a public sector aspect of centralizing control within world leaders, I think they start controlling the cost of goods so that prices don't go up. And then people are even more reliant on, you know, their allowance check.
What would you think a country like Russia would do?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't see them toeing the line with something like this.
No, but then again, historically speaking, they're more communist than we are. Historically speaking, right? I mean, I read a stat that if the minimum wage, or when, right, because it seems inevitable at this point, it raises to $15 an hour.
Yeah.
We will have the highest minimum wage in the world.
In the world.
In the world.
Holy cow.
So Australia's, I think, is at $12, and I think there's other countries, and a lot of these other countries that have very high minimum wages happen to be a little bit more socialist. So I can tell you right now, my native country of South Korea, super socialist.
Really?
Super socialist. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, the government likes to control a lot of things there.
Sure.
Which is, I guess it goes back to like human nature, and for some reason a man's desire for power and control, and for me it's just like, look, why can't we all just do whatever we want?
Oh, I'm the same way.
Like, why can't we all just kind of work? If you work hard, great, you make it. But that's what drives me nuts about this whole student loan thing. It's not going to stimulate the economy as much as people think it's going to.
And people need to realize that having freedom is a responsibility.
It's a responsibility. Yeah.
You can't just be up like Jerry Springer, for the United States. I mean, we can't have that stuff, man. We really need to make sure that freedom is a responsibility as well as it being an actual right. I just want to address something in the comments real quick. Aberrant Art said, saw the great. He had a follow up. George Gammon. George Gammon was actually the guy who I found out about this from.
Yeah.
And then when I heard our old friend AJ talk about it, won't name his name because I don't want to get shadow banned. That's when I knew it was
for sure
something rolling forward.
Yeah, there's a lot of great points being made, right? So Cyber Samurai said the worst form of unemployment is government employment because governments don't produce anything. Governments buy stuff. That's absolutely right.
Cow.
That is absolutely right.
That's
the government,
amazing.
At the end of the day, the reason why the government has power and money is because the people give them the power and money.
They tax it,
the
man.
taxes, man.
I work for the government.
This is why I'm so against increasing taxes.
Yeah.
Increasing taxes doesn't do anything, people. If you want to talk about the worst entity that manages money, it's the government. They are the worst at managing money.
Because they can just make it rain anywhere.
Sure.
And I know this for a fact because, again, I worked for the government. I was a DOD, Department of Defense employee, right?
Yeah.
There's big companies like Lockheed Martin, Dynacorp, all these defense contractors that they'll just spend a crap load of money towards these contractors, but you spend another hundreds of thousands of dollars training soldiers to do the same job, but yet we're just stuck here mopping floors and scrubbing toilets.
So Great Reset. How do we defend against that? So I think the way we defend against it is we start investing in the tangible assets.
Yeah.
So real estate, land. Yeah. Right. I mean, I threw out an idea on our recent video of why don't we buy into companies like Bill Gates? And,
for sure.
Look, the tide is coming. You might as well ride the wave.
Yeah. Artificial intelligence has a lot to do with it. I think.
For sure. But I don't know. So that was my third thing I put in the video, which is why. But I think land, investing in land, because really the Great Reset is reliant on, their ability to print as much money as they possibly can.
Sure.
Because at the end of the day, if somebody's trying to force something, they become the enemy. They become the enemy. This is similar to us living in a peaceful village where it's free market. We buy, sell, trade. Everyone's getting along, and then. An empire comes along with a bunch of weapons, and they're like, "We're gonna take over.
If not, we're gonna hurt you.
We're gonna hurt you. It's our nation now. We're in control, right? And we're gonna give you a little allowance every month for you to live, and you will not be allowed to start your own business. You are under our jurisdiction, our control. You are our child.
Yeah.
Right.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
Let me ask you this. So with student loans, mortgages, it's all kind of this voluntary stuff because you believe you need it. Now, do you think in the beginning of this Great Reset thing, people who aren't in the position to invest and or not investors, do you think it'll be a voluntary thing like, hey, listen, we'll forgive all your debt?
So here's the thing. You know who's the greatest enemy to the Great Reset? Greatest enemy.
People.
Sure, but let's get specific, all right?
Well, entrepreneurs, investors.
Entrepreneurs, investors. Yeah. But I'm specifically I don't think entrepreneurs, investors are the greatest enemy because the Great Reset guys, they already have a plan to dismantle the entrepreneurs. Who is the greatest enemy? Who is the greatest enemy to the Great Reset? Who are the individuals that could really stop it?
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
I don't know, man. Enlighten me.
There you go. Okay, it's us. We have 128,000 subscribers.
Yeah, we do.
Right. By the way, we're not the biggest YouTube channel.
No,
we're not like a Meet Kevin or a Graham Stephan or an Andre G. You know what I mean? We're not those guys.
Yeah.
But none of those guys are talking about this Great Reset to the extent that we're talking about it. And I have maybe it's not. Maybe I'm wrong. And I know Graham made a video about it, but
but they're not digging into it.
They're not digging into it. That's the point I'm making.
And they're not providing solutions.
And
either.
I know they know about it.
Yeah, of
like
course.
they're smart guys. I've talked to them before.
Yeah.
Like they're smart guys.
Yeah.
They know what's going on. I mean, meet Kevin posts 3 million times a day. He knows what's happening in the world.
He knows what's up.
But the question is why aren't, it's a great reset's happening. It's such a big topic, and I'm sitting here. Why isn't any of them talking about it? And maybe they're worried. Maybe they're worried about their, and maybe it's the point is that they've amassed such a large subscriber base on YouTube that they have more to lose. For us, if I lost 128,000 subscribers, if I lost my YouTube, I'm good. I'm fine.
Yeah.
I've got
change nothing,
I've got my real estate. I've got I'll still be fine. My wife and I will still be okay.
I might have to find a job though.
Right. Well, we'll make sure you're taken care of.
Right,
for sure.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Gracious.
We're loyal, bro. We're loyal,
appreciate
bro.
it. Right.
You know what I mean?
Likewise.
He's like, screw you, Daniel. I'm sitting over here. It's like, hey, about me, man. You know what I mean? But we are the greatest enemy. Because think about what we do. We educate people. I mean, think about the vision for the Kwak Brothers. The vision statement for our organization is our desire to see an American family, an average American family, be comfortable talking about finances around the dinner table. That's what we want.
Yes.
The biggest, if you look at any force in history, whether it be fascism, Nazism, even look at right now what's happening in Africa with domestic terrorism.
Oh yeah.
They say so. I've got a friend. I can call him a friend, right, Katie? Bob Goff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I can call him my friend. I've talked to him before, face to face. I call him up. So he says that for a terrorist, the biggest, the most frightful picture for a terrorist in Africa is not a UN soldier. It's actually a little girl with a book. That's what he says. And that alludes to, if you look at the most evil forces in history, the biggest enemy to them is an educated mass.
This is right up my aisle, man.
Right?
I'll get into that. I want to let you finish, but I'm going to get into that.
For sure. But like that's the biggest enemy. And again, it all goes full circle, man. If you guys think we're rambling, we're not. We're taking this all into a full circle in the form of, it started 100 years ago with the banking system, and it moved, and the second thing they targeted was the education system.
Yeah, makes sense.
Like imagine if we had 365 million people in America, which I think is the population of America. Imagine if all of us were educated financially, man. Imagine if all of us knew how the banking system really worked and how much they're scamming us on a day-to-day basis.
You'd have a true free market.
Right. Imagine if we knew how the insurance industry really worked.
Oh my God.
Imagine if we really knew how investment banking, like people are waking up to this because of the whole GameStop, Wall Street bets thing. Like they saw the investment banking, which by the way, like all the liberals, and again, I'm not a liberal or I tend to lean conservative, right? Because I grew up with in a church, right, whatever, but. Like a lot of my liberal friends on Facebook, they're like, "Oh my gosh, I never knew about this. I knew Wall Street needed to be stopped and all this stuff." And I'm like, "Welcome to the party."
Yeah, we're on the same team now.
Thank you for waking up. I've been up for 3 hours now. I've had my morning jog, my smoothie. I've been reading, the scripture, whatever.
Yeah,
congratulations, you just woke up. So for me, like it's an educated crowd, is what the Great Reset and any evil force in the history of mankind. An educated mass is what they despise.
Oh, dude.
Because, man, if everybody knew about how investment banking, right, all this stuff worked, then, dude, we wouldn't be having these conversations right now. It wouldn't be easy for people, like BG and, world leaders, who's the Canadian prime minister? The dude looks like a shriveled up wallet on a nice summer day. But it's like these dudes, like, they wouldn't have such a tough. I mean, it'd be easy. It'd be so tough for them to institute the Great Reset if everybody knew what we knew.
I'd even argue that those people wouldn't even be office.
No,
they wouldn't even be in office if
they wouldn't even be in
office. People.
Let me tell you right now, this is gonna be a very controversial statement. Oh man, right? We're gonna lose subscribers over this. We are.
That's all right.
But look, I mean, I'm interested in helping the right people, not everybody. You know what I mean? Like honestly, I'd rather have 200,000 subscribers that all seek truth, that all are bought and they actually do. Right, than a million who just do nothing, right? So I believe if they taught even the basic levels of supply and demand, economics, and finance in elementary school, middle school, and high school, I believe Joe Biden would not be president right now.
Yep.
I genuinely believe that. If you look, here's the thing. I agree with a lot with what he says.
Yeah.
Right? And by the way, I'm not a Trump guy. You don't see no MAGA hat on me or anything like that, right? Like, I'm not a Trump dude, right? But a lot of policies that Mr. Biden has passed, economically speaking, man, I don't know if I agree with them.
Not good.
They're not. I don't think they're good, man. Especially in an area that I'm very quick to defer to the experts. When this whole COVID thing happened, the first thing that I did is I called up my boy Joseph in California, who's been, he's been a specialist, a medical specialist, runs his own hospital for 25, 30 years.
Wow.
Right? The guy's legit. Right? So that's one of the first thing that I did, right? Is that like I called this dude up. I was like, hey man, like talk to me about what's really happening. Like you're the expert here. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna trust no CNN or Fox News. Like talk to me about what's really happening. So again, that's my statement. You had some stuff to say. I don't
no, it's fine. And everything that you said was just okay. So I'm going to get into a little to my background. Okay, so I was in the military for 6 years. I spent some of that time in special operations. Okay, and I was in psychological warfare. The biggest thing that we did was educate people.
Yeah.
Right. So one way that the bad guys tend to manipulate people to join their causes and stuff like that, they would sell misinformation big time, right? And to uneducated people who did not know what was actually going on. And so what my job is to come in and help do my best to educate the people who have been misguided, right?
For sure.
So, and we saw some major changes in certain parts of the world where if we didn't do that, we would see a huge spike in extremism. So education is like paramount to like everything that we do.
Yeah.
To counteract a lot of the bad stuff that happens in this world.
Yeah.
So.
No, 100%, man.
Yeah.
100%. All right. Thank you, Abear Art. We appreciate your support. So Expilidocios made a really good point. Why we still have to pay our mortgages. So that's a good point. Hold on, but I don't know if she was asking this question, but my mind immediately went to, well, that's a great point. If they're canceling student loans, why not just cancel mortgages? Why not cancel everything?
Yeah, just cancel it all.
But isn't that is part of the Great Reset, though? Is that is the thing? Like, hey, and that's what I worry about. Like maybe this whole Great Reset and debt forgiveness. Because remember, with the Great Reset, folks, is that part of the deal is that you will have no debt. That's part of the deal.
This is a mousetrap, though.
It's a mousetrap.
Here's the cheese.
Right? So you're like, hey, here's no debt, but, they're going to have to rely on us for the rest of your life.
Ooh. So can I keep my house then?
Right? I don't know.
Can I keep
Probably
my car?
not.
Can I buy a new house?
Because here's the thing. If you have debt on those things, who really owns it? Do you own it?
No, and I guess I'm happy about it.
You know what I mean?
I don't know.
But you're paying. But here's the thing: that you're paying a mortgage, so you're building equity in the house.
Right, but I don't own it anymore, and I'm happy.
So you own it, but you don't own it fully.
Right.
Right. So here's the thing. So student debt. Mm-hmm. Right. So like, because with mortgages, like with housing mortgages, like if you own that mortgage, like you own the house. You partially I always tell people, like, look, if you have a mortgage on your house, the bank partially owns it.
You incrementally own it.
You're right.
Every month.
You're a part owner.
Yeah.
Right. You just happen to be paying it off like month by month. I get it.
Yep.
Card debt, right? Technically, whoever does financing, which by the way, that's how dealerships really make their money, is by being a bank for cars as opposed to actually selling cars and making wholesale price on it, right? Just to be clear, right? But the car dealerships still technically own part of the car. Same thing with real estate, anything.
Yeah.
Right. What about student debt?
Oh man.
Right. If you own the student debt, who do you own? Do you own that person's ability to produce value in the marketplace? Because technically that degree is what it's supposed to be for, but obviously it's not working out right now.
And how many loans are actually owned by the Department of Education now?
Ooh, I don't know.
That's a lot.
I don't know.
Mine got bought up.
Sure.
Mine aren't private. They got bought up.
Yeah. Yeah, mine did too.
How many FAFSAs are being filled out every year?
For sure. Well, that's what I mean. Like even going back, like student loan, like, that's not going to stimulate the economy, because it's going to hurt someone. Yeah. People don't understand this. Like it just doesn't go away. There's no fairy or government official with wings that's going to say, "Ooh, like student loan gone." Right?
Let's Thanos snap.
Let's stimulate the economy, right? Like that. That affects. You know how it affects it? I'll tell you how it affects it right now. So let's say that they printed the money.
Yeah.
Right? Because then liberals are gonna be like, well, man, what if they print the money, man? What if nobody gets hurt, man? And everyone's feelings are great, and we can all grill tofu dogs, man.
That'd be great.
Right? That'd be great. I would love that world to happen. Right? I want to see everyone succeed. Yeah. I want to see everyone be able to pay their rent. Yeah. Like I saw there was an article talking about there was a nurse in New York that had to start, and I hate, by the way, if you have kids right now, you're watching this, sorry I'm bringing this up, just cover the ears, right? But this is real. I need to be real here. But I saw an article that says a nurse in New York had to start an OnlyFans to start to afford her rent and all her expenses.
As a nurse.
I hate seeing that, bro.
That's sad.
That's sad. I wish we could do, you know what I mean? Like, I wish it wasn't the case. I wish, yes, but we got to understand with anything, there's pros and cons. Yep. There's consequences to everything, you know? So, but let's say they printed the money. Let's say the government, fiscal policy, printed the money, right? And then we got rid of all student debt, which I don't know how many trillions of dollars we're up to now. Right, so wasn't it what is that?
Dude, it's
what's the number? I need to look
some outrageous number.
Hold on. Student loan. Can you look that up?
Yeah.
Pull that up, Jamie.
Yeah.
But so again, so let's say they printed it, right? That's gonna have a direct correlation on the futures market, on the 10-year Treasury, which by the way hit 1.6, I think yesterday or 2 days ago, and it's at like an all-time high? I think my boy Edwin and I were talking about it, but. Anyway, so
1.6 trillion.
1.6 trillion. They printed that. That's going to affect treasuries, 10-year treasuries. It's going to affect yield. It's going to affect futures market. That's going to affect a lot of things, just with the aspect of them printing the money to buy out. You know what I mean? Now, granted, the stock market might go up because it means the stock market's directly correlated with the strength of the consumer and how, you know what I mean? But for me, I don't know if that's the wisest thing because I'll tell you right now, I mean, I don't know. The people that I'm talking to that has data, the real data. I'm not talking about no BS research report that's some third party, whatever. Yeah. I'm talking about the people who provide the data for those research reports. Because the researchers a lot of times don't understand the context. I've had people reach out to me like, Daniel, we're putting together research. I need your input. I read the research. It completely take it out of context. Like they don't know exactly what they're talking. So I'm talking to the people who have the actual data.
Yeah.
A lot of them are saying that the stimulus checks and all the stuff that people bought, dude. Do you see sales on Dolce & Gabbana, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Michael Kors? Do you see the sales?
Dude, no, I don't. I never seen it, but I can tell you right now, I was up at the outlet mall right after that next stimulus check. Everybody was up there buying stuff. I mean, granted, I was just trying to get some workout clothes for that day. Sure. I forgot it at home.
Sure, but dude, people are buying.
People are bags full of stuff.
But people are buying Jordans. Yeah. Right? And again, it all goes back to the financial education. If people were more financially educated, you would know. Guys, don't like. There are people out there, bro, and I have family, and also friends who literally like the minute they get a check, let's say they get a check of $5,000 a month, that check. Their immediate thing is, what can I spend it on?
Yeah.
It's not about what can I save, what can I invest, how could I be, fiduciarily responsible, right? Practice fiduciary responsibility. Their immediate thing is, what can I do to? And by the way, if you have kids right now, like that is, I'm sorry to say, that is the mentality of your guys' kids. A lot of you. Like it's clearly not being taught in the schools. Yeah. It's got to be taught somewhere. It's got to be taught in the home at least, right? So that's how people are seeing these. Like, but right after the stimulus got passed, like I mean, dude, literally people are just Jordans. Nike, like
free money.
Dolce and Gabbana, like
free
literally,
money, dude.
like people. That's what people are spending it on.
Yeah.
So I mean, for these individuals, I don't know if that's the best thing. Like I don't know. I just don't know. So again, it all goes back to it's all about control. Like there's a reason why we don't learn about taxes or any of this stuff in school. It sucks. All right. What will happen to the price of pure silver? So I believe at any point, whenever you print more money, the dollar gets weaker. I do believe you seeing commodities and now cryptocurrencies sharing that market with commodity.
Yeah.
Right. I see that a lot of the values going up because whenever you see dollars weakening and artificial boosts in stock markets and housing markets, you see a lot of people flock towards commodities, which I believe, in my opinion, like people should be flocking more towards land and real estate because
tangible stuff,
something that's more tangible. Because at the end of the day, look, you don't know if XRP or Bitcoin is going to go up the very next day.
XRP to the moon, folks.
Moon.
Come on,
all right,
let's go. Come on to the moon, baby.
But at the end of the day, like you don't know that. Nobody here can tell me what the price of Bitcoin is going to be 2 days from now.
No,
nobody can.
No.
It went down below 50,000. Now it's up again over 50,000. I don't know what it's at today. But like at the end of the day, we just don't know. But I can tell you with land. Like if you buy a piece of land near in a non-high competition area, near a high growth area like Austin, Raleigh, North Carolina, or where I'm investing at, which I will not disclose the location for the sake of my investors, right? But I guarantee you, if you buy land right now, so where we're investing right now, it's a particular county in a state that's very south. So if you buy land right there right now, if you just if you looked at the county and you just randomly blindfolded yourself and you threw a dart, right? I guarantee you in about 5 years, minimum, it'll at least double in value.
Ooh.
Minimum.
Now you just holding. Are you holding land? Are you just gonna hold it? Or
it's the second fastest economic growing county in America.
Wow.
Right. So literally, if you just even if you just no development, no nothing, right? If you just bought it and just held on to it for 5 years, I guarantee you it'll a minimum double in price, in value.
That's good.
So so it's like, but no one's teaching this stuff. Like
No.
we're all flocking to what's hot, what's popular, right? It's because imagine if somebody says, hey, like I'm gonna teach you how to invest your money. I'm gonna teach you about. Imagine if they had a course in high school called Investments 101, and literally the whole course was not teaching you how to invest, but literally it just went, okay, this is stocks. This is what a stock is. This is what it means to have preferred shares, basic shares. This is what it means to have founder shares, first class, second class, right? This is what a bond is. This is what a commodity is. This is what real estate is. This is what wholesaling and fix and flip. Like imagine if they had a class in high school, just taught the most basic things. Like, I don't know, man. I wish people would, And so guys, please like this video. I'm seeing a couple comments here saying that like everybody should be.
Well, college enrollment will go down.
College enrollment will go down, right? I'm seeing a lot of comments that are talking about how, hey, everybody needs to be watching this. Guys, what we're talking about right here, I mean, we've talked about this now for 50 minutes. We're talking about it because this is what our entire YouTube channel is about. This is it, right? It's about educating the American masses financially, teaching the stuff that they should be taught in schools, right? We talk about real estate, we talk about Great Reset, right? And guys, we post twice a week, Monday and Friday. And there's not, we can't talk about everything.
No,
right?
We can't talk about certain things.
We can't. But guys, again, like this, and subscribe to our channel, right? If you want to go as far as to watching our latest Great Reset video, where we actually get more in depth in terms of how people can invest, right? It was released this past Wednesday, right?
Yep.
So it's the Great Reset. In the thumbnail, it says "This is War."
You got a cool samurai sword.
Thank you, right? Sam's sword. But it's titled "The Great Reset: Investors Defend Yourself This Way." If you guys want to go ahead, check out that video, watch the whole thing, like it, share it. If you guys could do that to help us out, man, it would get this message of what we're talking about to the masses.
Yeah.
Right, but this is what we got to do. If you guys want to put your money where your mouth is, please help us. It would mean and don't do it for the sake of it helps spread our brand and it helps spread the Kwak Brothers channel. Do it from a standpoint of, again, the things that the globalist elites, Great Reset, the evils of the world, what they despise is an educated public. That's what they despise. So if you guys are on board with that, please go ahead and check out our latest video. And what are we releasing Monday?
Monday. It's to be determined at the moment.
Okay.
But
we're gonna release something Monday at 6 p.m.
Yeah, we might start getting into about the ins and outs of apartment investing.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about apartment investing. We're gonna talk about housing market stuff. Yep. I know it's been a while since we've uploaded a housing market video, but we will get back into that because it seemed the housing market, we knew what it was doing. It was going up, right? Like there was no surprise. But now I'm seeing some interesting things. Now there's actually things worth talking about.
Are we in a bubble?
Are we? That's a great question, right? So these are things that we're talking about. Now the water is getting a little hotter.
Yeah.
Right. We're starting to feel it.
Yeah.
Right.
Starting to expand.
We're starting to see a giant hand start putting in some salt and pepper in the water. You know what I mean? So guys, subscribe. Right. Turn on that notification bell. It really helps us out a lot. And if you guys, I know we didn't get to a lot of real estate questions today. I'm gonna do this for you guys. If you guys want to email any real estate questions, info@thekwakbrothers.com. How can I invest with your advice? So Callahan 1140. If you want to watch the video, again, the Great Reset. The thumbnail says "This is War." We posted it. Literally, it's the latest video that we posted. We posted it 2 days ago, this past Wednesday.
Yep.
I share with you guys 3 things I believe we should all be investing in response to the Great Reset. So we're gonna talk a little bit more about that. If you have more questions, and by the way, if you're an accredited investor and you want to invest more passively, email me at info@thekwakbrothers.com. Subject line: passive investing.
Passive investing.
Passive investing. And if you guys also have any real estate questions, put in the subject line "real estate question." Email it to info@thekwakbrothers.com. Katie, can you put that on our chat box, or maybe Nick or one of you guys? Okay, thank you, Katie. Info@thekwakbrothers.com. And my lovely assistant Hosanna, she forwards me all the emails that have to do with real estate, investment opportunities, passive investor inquiries. She forwards them all to me, so I get those emails, right? I get those emails. So if you guys have any questions, I apologize if we didn't take a lot of time to answer any questions about real estate today. But email us, and we'll get it taken care of. I'll give you guys my time. Usually during the weekends is when I answer a lot of questions such like this, and I have more time. So I work on Saturdays, right? Because I love what I do.
He's a beast. He loves this stuff.
Right. But if you guys want to, any questions that I didn't address about Great Reset, real estate, anything, please let me know. Let's close out the show with this bombshell news. So mortgage rates today got released today. It's the highest that we've ever seen in about 10 months. Mortgage rates.
Okay.
Since June of 2020, mortgage rates are going up. The 30-year fixed rate mortgage today is at 3.125%. It's up 0.125%. It's the 20-year is at 3.125%, same rate. It's up again. 15 years at 2.5. The rates were last updated this morning at 6:30 a.m. Eastern time.
So that's a big jump.
It's today. So it's the highest that we've seen since June of 2020. And a lot of economic experts are predicting that rates will continue to go up, not the lending rate, but in terms of the rates that affect us, the consumers.
Right.
So I just want to get that news out there for you guys. So again, thank you. What's the minimum that we need to passive invest with you? So about $250. That's the minimum that we have in our fund. Because we can only work with accredited investors, and I like to play by the rules. But that's the minimum. However, if you have less than $250, there are other opportunities that I think are equally as good. So email me no matter what if you're an investor. We'll get it sorted out later because I have other opportunities that people can invest in. Stuff that I might start to do deals locally again. So
hey,
if you guys want to invest, if you guys want to invest with me on these local deals, multifamily, please let me know. But again, guys, thank you so much. Any last comment from you, my friend?
No, folks, it's been fun over here. Sam's gonna be here next week.
Yeah.
So I'll be back behind the computers again in my little dark corner. So again, I appreciate being up in the limelight, and it's been a pleasure.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. Have a great weekend. I'll see you guys Monday, 6 p.m. drop.
6 p.m. drop.
6 p.m. drop. Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
Take care.